Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new to this channel, you can subscribe, and if you are a returning viewer, I welcome you once again. My name is Omawumi Moyilorun. I'm a movie producer, a first-time movie producer, and I thought to share with you my experience as a first-time movie producer. Now, it's not like I have thousands of experience to share. No, I'm a beginner too, but I just thought to share with you my first time as as in my experience as a first-time movie producer. So, as I said again, my name is Omawumi Moyiloro. Now, before producing a movie, I've been a writer for years. I've been writing for years. I've been writing novels. Excuse me. I've been writing novels. I've been writing for stage performance, for theater performance, drama. I've been writing that for years. I've been writing skits for years. So in year 2024, I decided, no, late 2023, I decided that it's time to produce my own movie too. So I shot it in January, February 2024. Now, I'm sharing with you my experience as the first time movie producer, and if you look forward to producing your own movie too one day, you don't know how to go about it, I think you may find this video a little helpful. Now, the first thing I did while planning my movie production was my budget. You are surprised, right? Who starts production from a budget? But the first thing I did was my budget. I made up my mind on how much I'm going to spend. How much am I spending on this project? I made up my mind on that budget first. Now, when I was thinking of how much to spend, I wanted to go low as possible. I wanted it to be a low budget. I wanted to go as low as possible. Why should I go as low as possible? This is my first time. It's like you're setting your feet into a sea. You don't know how deep it is yet. You don't know how whether it is shallow, whether it is deep. So before taking the risk, I think it's okay to take the risk with wisdom. It's okay to take the risk carefully. And nobody knows my name, so why should I go all out to produce my first movie? And take a look at the business side of it. You cannot be producing a product, for example, people that are into products and commodities. You cannot be producing something for the very first time and the product is expensive. And you have to consider the affordability, if people will be able to afford it, and you have to consider the profit that you make. So when you are producing something, you have to first go as low as possible. You have to ensure you go as low as possible. So that was exactly what I did with working with planning this production. I ensured my budget is as low as possible. Is as low as possible because I have to think about my project. Okay, if I'm putting too much into this project, how much do I think I can make in return? How much do I think I can get back from this? So I have to ensure my budget was so low. Now, after planning my budget, after deciding on how much I want to spend, then I moved forward to the screenwriting. You're surprised, right? Like I'm supposed to write the script before deciding the budget. No, I didn't do it like that. I wrote the script myself, but I ensured I planned the budget before writing the script. So I already planned my budget before writing my script. Why did I do that? It will help me to structure my script in a way it will not be achieved. It will not be difficult to achieve with the budget. Now, since I already decided that this is my budget, I know that my budget is low, it's not so high. So it helped me to structure my script in a way that it will not be difficult to achieve. Now, I'm working with a low budget. Since it's a low budget, you don't expect me to write locations that will be difficult to get. Imagine working with a low budget and you're writing locations like airports, Nigerian International Airport, Ahmadu Bello Airport, or you are writing locations that are really, really expensive that can only be gotten in Lekki Aja houses. It does not work like that. Or working with a low budget and you are writing events that may be difficult to achieve. For example, you're writing events when rain will fall. Rain will be falling like twice, three times in the movie, and you have to invite water corporation to come and borrow you something to do the rain. No. So since I already planned my budget, I already made up my mind that this is how much I am spending. So that helped me in writing my script in a way that the budget will be enough to achieve that script. So I didn't write a script that had expensive locations that we need. Okay, for example, working with a low budget and you're writing a character of a governor Okay, if you're writing a character of a governor in a script, definitely you will need extravagant houses, like you will need massive houses, you will need extremely expensive cars, you will need big cars, you will need luxury. So I didn't do that in that script. Why? Because I was working with small budget. So because I already made up my mind on the budget, it helped me to structure my script in a way that the budget will be able to work for my script. And that is one thing you should learn in movie production. As a first time movie production, if you are working with a low budget, which I think is wise to do, you should structure it right from your screenwriting, right from the time you are writing your script. So when I was writing the script, I ensured that I was not going too extra with everything. I ensured that none of my character was this eligible billionaire bachelor. Because if I'm calling somebody a billionaire, you don't expect me to bring a Toyota car for a billionaire. You don't expect me to look for just an ordinary duplex for a billionaire. It has to speak it. So it has to speak it. Imagine writing that a character is a president and you just gave the character three-bedroom apartment to be the residence. It does not make sense. Or a character is a president, you just look for one tiny room and decorate it as office, as the office space. It does not make sense. It cannot work like that. So when I was writing the script, I wrote the script in a way that the location will not be expensive, the locations will not be difficult to get. And apart from that, the scenes will not be so difficult. It will not be extravagant. The things needed will not be extravagant. Imagine if having a low budget movie and having an expensive party where champagnes, NSC, big things will be needed. No, it's not done like that. So right from the screenwriting, I knew I was working with small budget and I had to structure that script in in a way that the budget will be enough, in a way that it will not be too much for the budget. Another thing I did was getting a production manager. Now, getting a production manager was not so easy. Why? Because my budget was small. Now, most of the production manager I got, they say, this budget is small, this budget is small, there's no way we can work with this budget. And I was not intending to go forward. I was not, even if I was going to go forward, I was going to go a little higher, not that I was going to go extremely higher than the budget. So, though the budget is small, yes, I know the budget is small, but I had to get a production manager that can work with my budget. I had to get a production manager that can help me achieve it with my small budget. Most of the production managers I got at first, they were coming with big budgets, they were coming with big things, coming with big things, and I had to cut my clothes according to my coat. So it was not so easy for me to get a production manager that could work with the small budget. But after a long search and session and session and session, I eventually got a production manager that could do it with the small budget. And one thing I want you to put into consideration is that no matter how small a budget is, no matter how small a budget is, there are some things you cannot just afford to be stingy with. There are some things you cannot just afford to go low on. And I'm going to be saying those things as this video continues. Number one is your camera. Now, no matter how small your budget is, you cannot afford to go low on camera. No, no. The video quality is important. The quality of the video shot for you has to be very good, because number one, people don't watch video when the quality is bad. Take a look at it. Even you, check yourself. Do you like a video when the quality is bad? For someone like me, no matter how interesting a movie is, the moment the quality of the movie is bad, I'm off. No matter how interesting it is, the moment I see the stage and the quality is bad, I'm not watching the movie again. Let everybody be shouting, let everybody be talking about the movie. The moment the quality is bad, I'm not watching again. So bad quality turns people off. Bad quality, bad video quality turns people off in a movie. So you have to ensure that the quality of your movie is okay. It may not be top notch like the Netflix standard. Okay, if you are shooting for YouTube, it may not be top notch like the Netflix standard, but at least it has to be okay. So it has to be okay. The quality has to be good. Now, the fact that you are trying to manage the budget does not mean you should now produce a movie that the quality will be bad, that even you, it will turn you off. No matter how good a story is, if the quality of the video is not good enough, the money is gone, the whole thing is lost, the whole production is a waste. So, no matter how much you are trying to manage on your budget, you have to still ensure that the quality of the video is okay. And that is where getting cameras come in. Now, it's not compulsory you get expensive cameras, the likes of Red, the likes of Harry. You cannot be shooting a YouTube work and you are getting the likes of Red and the likes of Harry. Now, it's not compulsory you break your back to get camera. There are nice cameras that you can use that will still give you something nice and it will not break your back. The cost of renting it will not break your back. You can see Blackmagic, Sony, a lot of them, Mark 4, you can still get them and it will not break your back. But what is most important now is that quality is quality. You just have to get quality video. You cannot afford it. You cannot afford not giving your audience a nice quality of video to watch. So you have to ensure that the quality of your video is good. You have to ensure that it is top notch. So it's not compulsory you break your back to do it. There are cameras that can achieve it that are not expensive. So whether you have big budget or not, one thing that is quite important is that the quality must be good. The quality must be good. You cannot afford to joke with the quality of that video. When the quality is not good, just forget it. Your money is gone. In fact, take a look at it on social media on skits. Now, most of the times, have you seen skits where the quality of the video, the picture quality is not so good? Check the views. Check the views. No matter how funny that skit is, no matter how funny that short video is, even TikTok video, no matter how good the video is, they get lesser views compared to the ones that have high quality videos. That is why it is important that your video quality must be good. On every social media platform, just check them. Almost all videos on social media that have low quality end up getting low views. That is why you cannot just afford to not give the production a good quality video, a good picture quality. You just have to do it. You cannot afford it. So if the quality is bad, the whole money is waste, the whole money is lost. So now you don't have to break your bank to get quality videos. There are still ones you can get at affordable prices and it will give you the best. Now, after getting quality video, after putting your money on quality equipment, another thing is hands to manage that quality equipment. One thing about these things is that no matter how good a camera is, if a professional hand is not using it, it will still give you bad quality. The quality will still not be nice, no matter how high. Even if it is Red, let bad hand handle Red or Harry, e no go still give you nice quality. So after deciding on which camera to use, you have to look for professional hand, people who knows how to handle it, people who know how to handle it. You have to look for them. So it's important to get the best hands on those cameras. You have to get a good cinematographer. The thing is, no matter how nice a camera is, no matter how powerful, how good a camera is, no matter the ability of a camera to produce a high quality video, if professional hands are not handling it, then there's no purpose for it. The purpose is gone. So you have to get cinematographers, you have to get DOPs that know how to handle these cameras. Now, it does not mean DOPs are bad or stuff, but there are some DOPs that they know how to manage these cameras, they know how to set it more than each other. So you have to, okay, if you're using Blackmagic, you have to get a DOP that knows how to handle Blackmagic well. Blackmagic is a good camera, it can give you a nice quality of video. So you have to get a DOP that knows how to handle it. Now, Blackmagic as a camera is okay by itself. It's a nice one. It can give you very nice video. But if a terrible person is handling it, if someone that is not so expert in working with Blackmagic is handling it, it may not give you the quality you want. It may not give you the quality you need. So that is why it is important for you to get professional hands to handle those equipments. Now, okay, for example, a camera like Sony, a camera like Blackmagic, they are good cameras. But if you don't get experts with them to handle it, it will not give you the results you desire. So you have to get cinematographers that are good at handling these equipments. You have to get them. Funnest part is that, take for example, a Blackmagic is still, or Sony is still superior to a camera like Mark IV. But if an expert is handling Mark IV and someone that is not so good with Blackmagic is handling Blackmagic, it will not give you, in fact, that Mark IV might end up turning out better than the quality of what that Blackmagic will provide. What is the difference? The difference now is that Blackmagic is still better than Mark IV, but the hand handling it, the people handling it is important. So it is important for you to get a good cinematographer. And now, getting a good cinematographer does not have to do with the technical aspect alone. You have to get a cinematographer that understands art, that know when to say, okay, this is right for the production, okay, this is not good for the production. If your cinematographer is not good enough, I'm telling you, your production will be a flop. Your production will be a flop if your cinematographer is not a good one. So you have to get a cinematographer that knows the job, that knows the technicality of the job, and not just knowing the technicality, but the heart. Because there are some cinematographers that even if the director is not doing well enough, you will not notice that the director is not doing well enough because the DOP is already a top-notch person. So there are some cinematographers that they can even mask the fault of the directors, that you will not even notice that the director is not doing well enough. If the director is not good enough and the cinematographer is good, in fact, the fault of the production will not be so noticed. The fault of the production will not be so noticed. So it is important for you to get a very good DOP, not just the one that knows the technicality of handling these cameras, but the one that understands art and that can know the effects you are trying to generate, the reaction you are trying to generate in your movie, the picture you are trying to paint, that can see through your imagination and know that, okay, this is the picture the writer is seeing, this is what the writer is saying, and this is how we can achieve it. So it is important for you to get a good DOP for your production. And another thing that you cannot afford to tamper with, no matter how small your budget is, and another thing you cannot afford to tamper with, no matter how small your budget is your sound. You cannot afford to joke with your sound. Now, have you seen movies where the movement of the lip will be a step faster than the sound, the audio you are hearing? Do you know how annoying that is? That is really, really annoying. Now, that is why you cannot afford to do anything with your sound. You have to get the best hand for your sound. If the sound of a movie is bad, forget it. That movie is gone. It's nonsense. The money has wasted. Production money has wasted. So you have to get the best hands for your sound. It's important. Because for someone like me, if I'm watching a movie or a video and the sound is going differently from the movement of the lip, I get irritated and just drop it. And I know that I'm not the only one on this table. A lot of people are like that too. So I know I'm not the only one that gets irritated with bad sounds in a movie. A lot of people get irritated with bad sound. Imagine watching a movie and someone said, "Ha, I want to pick up my bag," and yeah, he's already picking up the bag before you hear the sound of "I want to pick up my bag." You know how senseless or annoying that will be. So you cannot afford to joke with your sound. Sound is very important. So despite the fact that you're trying to manage your budget, you have to go all out for your sound. It's very important. You cannot afford to joke with it. If you joke with it, the whole of the production is lost. The whole of the money is gone. Everything will become waste because it will not appeal to people. People will not want to watch it. And take a look at yourself. Do you like it when you are seeing a video and the sound is going to Lokoja, the video is going to Meduguri? That is not so nice. So as much as you are trying to manage your budget, it's still important that you spend much on the camera and on the sound. So, and what I'm talking about spending, when I'm talking about spending much, that does not mean you should break the bank. There are still quality, there are still cameras that are not so expensive to get, that can give you good quality videos if, note this, if handled by a professional. If handled by a professional. So it is important to get a good sound. It is important to get good cameras that will do the job, that will do the job for you. Now, in production, there are three stages of production. There is pre-production stage, there is the production itself, and there is post-production. So there are three stages of production. There is pre-production, there is production, and there is post-production. Now, all these things I'll be talking about, they are the pre-production. So they are the plans you are making before the production. Now, when you are planning your production, when you are making your production plan, I want you to have something at the back of your mind is that you need a plan B. You need a plan B. The reason I'm saying you need a plan B is that in planning production, there are a lot of things that will not go as planned. Maybe for my own production, or okay, as a first time movie producer, a lot of things did not go for me as planned. That I wish I had a plan B for that. Okay, if this one is not working, we are going to use this plan. So you have to have a plan B. That is just one of the things I learned in producing this, that you need to have a plan B. Now, first of all, when I was casting for this movie, casting was a really difficult one. It was really, 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 really difficult to get actors. So you need to have a plan B. For someone like me, when I was casting for my movie, I had already casted the lead role like a month before the production day. I'd casted the guy for the lead role a month before the production day, and while we were working towards the production, only for him to reach out to us that hey, he had an emergency, he will not be able to make it. He has things to do. We're like, what? 2 weeks to production. So when we heard that, it was a rude shock. We were shocked, we were destabilized and everything. We had to leave everything we were planning to go back to looking for who will be our lead role again. We had to leave everything to go back and start looking for who to cast for the main role again. So when planning for this thing, as you are making plans, I think it's okay to have a plan B. That if this one does not work, we do it this way. If it does not work this way, we do it this way. Another thing that I felt I should have had a plan B about was the location, was the school location, because the storyline has a school in it. So the location manager, when they to search for schools, he just he just searched for schools that has beautiful environments, and when he saw the environment, he just concluded that this is going to be nice for our production. Only to get to the school on the production day and found out that though it has a beautiful environment, but it's a primary school with ABC on the wall, with A for Apple written on the wall. Definitely, we cannot use that as a school for teenagers or someone that is more older than that. So we have to start looking for school again while the production is going on. So it was really a stressful thing for us. And I wish we had a second plan. I wish we had another plan to fall back to. Another time we looked for another school again, and there was no, the secondary school had no sockets where we could plug aperture lights or other things like that. So I wish we had a plan B that we could fall back on. I wish we made arrangements for maybe two schools to say, okay, if this one doesn't work, we'll fall back on this. But we didn't have a plan B. We just picked one and went on with the production, and the production suffered for it. So it's okay to have a plan B while planning for your production. So you need to have a plan B. For someone like me, when I was casting for my movie, I had already casted the lead role like a month before the production day. I'd casted the guy for the lead role a month before the production day, and while we were working towards the production, only for him to reach out to us that hey, he had an emergency, he will not be able to make it, he has things to do. We're like, what? 2 weeks to production. So when we heard that, it was a rude shock. We were shocked, we were destabilized and everything. We had to leave everything we were planning to go back to looking for who will be our lead role again. We had to leave everything to go back and start looking for who to cast for the main role again. So when planning for this thing, as you are making plans, I think it's okay to have a plan B. That if this one does not work, we do it this way. If it does not work this way, we do it this way. Another thing that I felt I should have had a plan B about was the location, was the school location, because the storyline has a school in it. So the location manager, when they to search for schools, he just searched for schools that has beautiful environments, and when he saw the environment, he just concluded that this is going to be nice for our production, only to get to the school on the production day and found out that though it has a beautiful environment, but it's a primary school with ABC on the wall, with A for Apple written on the wall. Definitely, we cannot use that as a school for teenagers or someone that is more older than that. So we have to start looking for school again while the production is going on. So it was really a stressful thing for us. And I wish we had a second plan. I wish we had another plan to fall back to. Another time we looked for another school again, and there was no, the secondary school had no sockets where we could plug aperture lights or thing or other things like that. So I wish we had a plan B that we could fall back on. I wish we made arrangements for maybe two schools to say, okay, if this one doesn't work, we'll fall back on this. But we didn't have a plan B. We just picked one and went on with the production, and the production suffered for it. So it's okay to have a plan B while planning for your production. Another thing you have to do is that you have to ensure your production manager is someone who can manage the crew members well. Because sometimes some of these crew guys, they want to do things their way, they may want to be playful and forget about their work. And the thing is just ensure that your production manager is someone who knows how to manage his crew, who can speak to the crew members once and they will listen, who can talk to them, who knows how to manage them well. Because there are times that will be like, okay, the call time is 8 a.m. and the crew members will still be dozing off at 8 a.m. So you have to get a production manager that knows how to manage the crew, that can talk to the crew, that can instruct the crew, and the crew will listen to him. So you have to get supportive crew members. I'm telling you, it's really important. You have to get crew members who are supportive, who understand the vision, who are willing to work. And that is one beautiful thing I like about the crew that worked for me. They were willing to work. Even if they are tired, they were willing to work. We had midnight shoots. I think that is common in almost every production. There's going to be midnight shoots. And these crew members were willing to work. They were willing to put everything in the line. They were willing to do everything just to make the production successful. So it's important to get crew members who are willing to work, who will not be lackadaisical about the whole production. And it is important to get a production manager that can manage them well, that can instruct them that 8 a.m. is the call time or 7 a.m. is the call time, and they will all be up at 7 a.m. You have to get a production manager that knows how to manage crew members well. And apart from knowing how to manage them well, you have to get crew members that are disciplined, that they will not spend the entire time joking away while they should be working. Okay, they say how work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, but if Jack plays too much, Jack will be a lazy boy too. So you have to get a production crew that are willing to work, that will not play. Production manager has to be someone who can manage those crew members well. And if you get a supportive crew member, I'm telling you, you are on your way to success. If you get a supportive crew members who are not lazy, who are willing to stand up every time you make the call, I tell you, you are on your way to success. Another thing that is important to get is to ensure that your continuity guy knows what he's doing. There are a lot of productions that continuity guy will not know what he's doing, he will not know his duty, and the production will be a flop. Okay, have you seen movies where somebody will leave home to the market and the person will be wearing black top when he was leaving home, and by the time they show the person in the market, the person is already wearing red top? Okay, that is from the continuity. The continuity guy has to be someone that gives attention to detail, someone that is meticulous. Now, for someone like me, I've seen a movie where a woman is rushing her child to the hospital. By the time the child faints at home, the child faints, they rush the child to the hospital. The clothes the woman wore when she left home for the hospital was different was the one she wore when they showed the hospital scene. I've seen a movie like that before. I've seen a movie where a woman carried a dustbin to dispose it at the bigger dustbin outside, and the wig she was wearing when she carried the dustbin from the kitchen is different from the one she wore by the time she got out. That fault is from the continuity. You cannot afford to have a continuity who is not serious, who does not give attention to detail. You cannot afford to have that kind of continuity. It will cost you a lot of things in the production. A lot of things will be faulty. So it is important to get a continuity that gives attention to detail, a detail that is as small as a hearing. So, okay, you've seen a lot of movies where people will be laughing at the continuity of a movie. It happens very well on Nigerian social media where an actor will wear green and next time you are seeing the person on that same scene, the person is still wearing blue. The person is now wearing blue. It's the fault of the continuity. So you have to ensure that you get a continuity guide that is meticulous, that gives attention to detail. And don't get a lazy continuity guide because there are times some people will be working as continuity, they will not even know what is going on in the script. There is no way it will not be faulty when you get a continuity guide that does not truly understand what is going on in the script. So you have to get someone that is really interested in the job, someone that is interested in the heart of movie production. So he would have read and digested the script. He would have known the back and front of the script. So he knows everything that is being shot. He's not like he's not unaware of a scene when a scene is being shot. When a scene is being shot, he knows fully that okay, this is the scene that is being shot, this is the thing that is needed. He has the picture, he has everything. So you cannot afford to get a continuity guy that does not know what he's doing. You have to get the one that is an expert in what he's doing, that is hardworking, that does not give up easily, that is meticulous, that gives attention to detail, even the tiniest of detail that could give attention to it and it will not be a flop. So you really need a good continuity guy. In fact, I'm talking to you from experience now. You need a good continuity guy. And as a movie producer, when you get to your production set, okay, I don't know if you want to be a director. Some people produce movie and act in the movie. Some people produce movie and direct the movie. I produced movie. I just want to be a producer. I don't want to be an actor. I didn't act in the movie. So at first, I thought I was going to be on the movie set and just see how things were going on. But the way things were going on, I had to just ginger everyone myself, be like, okay, we have to do this, we have to do this. So on the set, I became not only a director, I became continuity, I was just in every department because I just had to do it so that it will not be a flop. So that because if everything is a flaw, is my loss, it is not their loss because they've been paid. The loss will be mine if it's a fault. So as a producer, you don't have to say, okay, I'm the producer, I have paid everyone. Let everyone go and do their job. Let me just stand there and look at them. No, you have to be really active on the production set. You have to be active. You have to know what is going on in each department. You have to be active. You have to be putting them to work frequently. Now, another thing that is important to get a good director. If you are not a director yourself, get a good director. Get a director that understands the art of directing, that does not only understand the technicality of directing, but the heart of movie directing. You need to get a good director, a director that is really interested in art. So get a director who really understands the art of movie making, who really understands not just the technicality, but understands what movie making is all about. Now, there are times that you will see I've been in some movie production sets that are not even my production. And there are times you see some directors who don't even know much about the scripts they want to come and direct. They don't even have so much idea about the scripts. Sometimes some of them are just reading it that morning, some of them are just reading it a day before that day, and they don't really know the bone and flesh of that script. They don't know the front and back of that script. Don't get that kind of director. Don't get a lazy director. Get a director that is interested in art, that is interested in really, really directing movies, that would have read and digested the script, that would have read the front and back, that would have known almost all the things that is happening in the script. So if he has read and directed the script, he would have painted the picture of what is going to happen. He would have painted it already in his head. And achieving it will not be difficult because why? He has been reading it, he has been digesting it before that day. So he already has a picture in his mind already. He already has a picture that he wants to bring to reality. He's already seeing the vision that the writer is seeing already, and he's already planning how to bring it to reality. Now, it's better to get a good director who has read the script front and back, who will read the script front and back before even showing up on set at all, than get the one that will start reading it that morning. No, it's not done that way. You need to get a director that is really interested in the heart of directing. It's very important. A director that is really interested in the heart of directing, that would have read the script, that would have digested it, and if he has any changes to make, he would have made the changes. It's not wise to just be making changes on set when there is no time to think about the effect of removing or adding a scene or no. He would have read it beforehand, he would have made changes, he would have thought, okay, I think we should do it this way. And that is where flexibility comes in as a producer or as a writer. You have to be flexible. You don't have to be rigid. You don't have to be rigid. You have to be flexible. Sometimes when you write a script and the director or a DOP is seeing the script and the DOP is like, okay, I don't think it will work this way, or the director is like, okay, I think it will be better it works if we do it this way. You have to be flexible enough to take their advice. Nobody is an island of knowledge. Nobody knows it all. There are times they will call out your attention to something as a writer, and you'll be like, wow, I didn't see it that way. For instance, there are scenes where, okay, for instance, let's say we have an argument scene and the screenwriter already wrote it like, okay, they come in, they sit down to start arguing, and the director will be like, no, this is an heated argument. Nobody sits down to have an heated argument. Let's say they stand up and they argue. Can you see that that is reasonable enough? You have to be flexible enough to take the advice from them because these people are not foolish. They know this work, they know what they are doing. So you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible. You have to take advice from them, from the DOP, from the director. You don't have to be rigid. And one thing about being flexible is that in the midst of your flexibility, ensure that the message is not lost. Ensure that the message is not lost. You have to be flexible, yes, but you don't have to be flexible to the point where the message will be lost. If they are advising something and you think the message will be lost if you take to that advice, then you should discard the advice. You should consider the advice, and if you think the message will be lost if the advice is taken, then you should not hesitate to discard the advice. So, what am I saying? Get a good director who understands art, who knows when to make changes and when not to make changes, who will take his time to read it, to study the script, to know what is really going on, and not just about collecting scripts and saying action. Who will read it, who will be interested in it, and will not just collect the script and say action. And that is not what a director has to do in a production. Another thing is getting okay, most directors have their area of specialists, but I think it's okay to get a director who is someone interested in the subject matter of your script. Like, who is interested in the topic you are talking about. For example, you cannot get a director who is irritated by politics to come and direct a movie about politics, though he will try to, but the effort he will put into it will not be as getting a director who is interested in politics. I'm just using that as an example. For instance, I've been on a movie set before. The movie is about Isheshe tradition, like traditional religion. The movie is about traditional religion, about juju, about the African old religion, about Shango, all those African deities. The movie is about things like that. And the producer of the movie, I don't know if it's intentional. The producer of the movie got a director who is a traditionalist. The director of the movie is a traditionalist. You get me? The movie is about Yoruba tradition, about Shango, about Oya, about the Juju, about thunder, how they call out thunder, things like that. About the African old religion, how the old religion is being practiced. That is what the movie is about. And the producer of the movie got a director that happens to be a traditionalist. So on seeing that script, the director was so interested in the script. He so much loved the script. In fact, the energy he put into directing that movie, it was a lot of energy. Why was he doing it like that? Because it's a topic that is peculiar to him. It's a topic that he's interested in. Because it's a topic that he's interested in. I'm not saying that has been affecting his career. No, I'm just saying that the fact that he's a traditionalist and he saw something that has connection with him, he could work with that. He could put a lot of energy into that. In fact, before the production at all, the director already digested and digested and digested the script. After digesting the script, he already had plans for each scene, for each scene that concerns the old religion, the practice of the old religion. He already had plans for it. So why did how did the producer generate that kind of effect? Because it's a subject matter that the director is interested in. Now, some directors, there are a lot of directors that still work with subject matters they are not interested in, and it is good. But most of the time, when the subject matter is about things they are interested in, the energy they put to it is always much, and the intentionality. If it's a subject they are interested in, they are always intentional about it. Imagine getting somebody like Kunle Afolayan to come and direct a story about Yoruba culture. It's obvious that the man is in love. He embodies the Yoruba culture. He embodies Yoruba tradition. Though on a normal day, ask him to direct anything. He's a very, very good director. But imagine giving him a job that has to do with Yoruba culture. You know what he will do with that kind of job. So that is what I'm just trying to talk about. So get directors that are interested in such topic, that are interested in that subject matter. Okay, for instance, if you are doing movies about love and you got a director that is not interested in love, that just thinks it's a child's play. There are scenes that we have a lot of emotions in it that he will not be able to see in that light, that you will not be able to see in that light. So that is why it is important to get a director that can see the picture you're trying to paint and can give you that picture and can translate your imagination to reality. It's important to get a good director for your production. Now, another thing I want to talk about is your cast management. You have to manage your cast well. You have to manage your cast. For someone like me, I didn't really work with celebrity. How much is my budget? I worked with young people, and one thing about them is that you have to manage your cast well. You have to treat them all well. You have to manage them well. You have to need good relationship with them. You have to make good relationship with them. Now, managing cast well, okay, make sure you don't waste their time. Though there are a lot of unforeseen events that leads to wasting your cast time, but try your best. Try everything not to waste their time to ensure that you do not waste their time. And apart from that, make provision for good accommodation for your cast. Make provision for good accommodation for your cast. You don't expect your cast to sleep outside and expect them to perform the next morning. It does not make sense now. So make provision for where they will sleep, where they will rest their head, comfortable place that they cast. So you must ensure your casts are properly managed. They must be properly taken care of, they must be properly provided for. Okay, you don't expect an actor who slept in an uncomfortable place to be productive the next morning. It's not done, it does not happen like that. Body no be firewood. So you have to ensure that after a stressful day of working, production is very stressful. After stressfully working, tirelessly working, endlessly working hard during the day, they must have a comfortable place to rest their head. They must have a comfortable place to rest, because if you don't provide that, it will affect your production. It will affect your production. It will affect their productivity. They will not be productive as they should. They will not be active as they should. And take for example, there are people who end up with swollen eyes if they do not sleep well. There are people who end up with red cheek, red face if they don't sleep well. There are people who lose their voice. For someone like me, after so long stress, if I do not rest well, I might just start coughing. So you don't expect someone who is tired, that the tiredness is obvious in their face, to come and start acting again. It cannot work. Or someone who has already lost his voice to come and act, it cannot work. So you have to make provision for them where they will rest their head, where they will sleep after a long day at work, and they have to be properly taken care of. You need to maintain a good relationship with your cast and crew member. Now, you need to maintain a good relationship with them, and the only way you can maintain a good relationship with them, good rapport with them, depends on how you treat them during the production. Depends on how you choose it. As much as you want the production to go quickly, you still there are points where you may need to be considerate, and there are points you will not be considerate. So when it's time to express sympathy, you need to, and when it's time to be hard, you need to. So you need both. So you need to be considerate. So you need to maintain a good rapport with your cast and crew members. You need to. You really need to. And so we've talked about the production, we've talked about the pre-production. Now the post-production. Editing is a post-production thing, at least. There has to be a movie before there is something to edit. But the fact that editing is a post-production thing, that does not mean you should wait till after production before you start looking for the editor. No, you need to have your editor on ground while the production is going on. Though I said earlier that editor is a post-production, editing is a post-production thing, yet yes, but the editor has to be on ground while the production is going on. It does not mean you have to have concluded the entire production, then you are now looking for editor. That's not how it's done. Like, you need to have your editor on ground. The editor has to be present during the production to avoid stories that rush. Have you heard situations where they would have shot a movie and they realize that this scene is breaking, the scene is not there, we cannot find it. It's better to have your editor on ground. It's better to have your editor around during the location in order to be able to oversee the things he wants to use by himself. So you need to have your editor around. Editing is a post-production thing, but that does not mean you wait till after the production. And one important thing is editing. You need to get a good editor. And a bad editor can mess up your entire production, and the whole thing will just be a waste, to just be lost. All the money will just be gone. So you need to get a good editor. You need to get a good editor, an editor who understands what is going on. I've been emphasizing on people who understand, because there are a lot of people that just take a job and will not even know what is going on in the job, and they will just say, okay, is it this thing? Okay, let us add this onto it. Is it this one? Okay, let us remove it. Should we just remove it? You have to understand, and you have to get an editor who understands what you are trying to do, the picture you are trying to paint, and who is interested in helping you achieve it. Now, even if they have an advice, it's something you can carefully look into together and find a way around it. So it is important you get a very good editor, and you have your editor present during your production. Is very, very important, because there are times that the quality of a video will be good. There are times a video will be shot, a movie will be shot with nice camera, and the DOP would have done their job, and the job will now be left with the editor. So despite getting a good camera, a good sound, a good DOP, a bad editor can still mess up your entire production. So it's important you get a good editor. It's important you get a good editor. So get a good editor that will help you edit your work well. That will help you do the nice thing, every necessary thing that needs to be done on it. And another thing in post-production is sound. Sound, color grading, all those ones, they are post-production. So they are post-production plans. So then it's wise to have made plan for them even before the production. Though there are things that are executed after production, but you can make plan for them while making plan for the production itself. So things like sound, things like soundtrack, getting your soundtrack if you need one, getting the mood if you need it, getting the color grading and everything. You just have to make plans for those ones. And the marketing technique for a newbie like me, I don't have 100 million followers on Instagram. I don't have thousands of followers on Instagram. That is where your actors come in. That is why it is important to maintain good relationship with your actors, to maintain good rapport with your cast, because at the end of the day, they need to publicize it for you. They need to publicize it for you. They need to promote it for you. If they don't promote it for you, you will be spending so much on hats. So they need to promote it for you. You need to get actors who are supportive, who are willing to take it as this is our thing, this is our work, and we are doing it together, we are winning this together. So that is why you need to maintain good rapport with them. If you don't maintain good rapport with them, they can just finish their job and face front, and you have nothing to do about it. You cannot drag them, you cannot sue them, you cannot do anything. So it's important to maintain good rapport with them so that when it's time to promote your work, they will support you, they will promote it with you. So it's important for marketing and everything. So I'm sure you have learned one or two things from this long video. And like I said earlier, I don't have 1,000 of experience. This is my first production. So I thought to share with you my experience as a first time movie producer. So if you look forward to producing your own movie too, I hope you can pick one or two things from this thing. I hope from this video, I hope you can learn, okay, this is what I should do, this is what I shouldn't do, this is what I should have done, this is what I shouldn't have done. And let me just retake everything, like do a summary of it. The summary of the whole thing is that number one, plan well. Plan well for your production. In fact, is there anything people do without planning? Every good thing needs proper planning. So, in summary of it all, number one, plan well. Plan well, plan everything properly. Don't joke with the planning. See to the planning of everything yourself. Don't joke with it. Don't assume that it's production manager's work. He knows what to do. No, don't just assume. Oversee everything yourself, because if you just leave it to them, you will cry. You remember the one I shared when I said we were looking for a school and the production manager looked for a school. The environment was beautiful. I think he judged the school with the environment. Yes, the environment was beautiful, but it was not the type we needed for the production. As in, it was not the type, the classroom does not suit what we look for. So that's what I'm saying. During planning, make sure you oversee everything yourself. Don't just leave them to it. I know they know how to do their job, but don't just leave it to them and say they know how to do their job. Oversee it yourself so that you will not cry. And apart from that, have a plan B. Have a plan B. I'm saying it, have a plan B. Because something about movie production is that sometimes 50% of what you plan, it might not work out like that. I'm not saying that is general, I'm just saying it for me. It might not work out like that, but it's important to have a plan B so that in case this one does not work, you will quickly have something to fall back on instead of just starting to think again. Hey, what should we now do? How should we now go about it? So have a plan B that you can quickly fall back to so that you will not take time again to come and start thinking about how what should we now do, how should we now go about it. Have a plan B. Another thing is your budget. I don't know how much you have in your pocket though. If you have much, if you have much money, you can go extra with the budget of your first production if it works for you like that. But if you don't have much, you can produce something that you will not spend so much on, that it will not cost you, it will not be expensive, and you can be intentional about that while writing the script. You can be intentional about it. So plan your budget well and ensure you don't go too extra. Ensure you don't spend too much on it. Though, like people say, a good production, it's a good money that has gone before a good production, but to some extent you can still achieve something with very few, like with a small low budget. You can still achieve something with it. So with proper planning, with intentional planning, you can still achieve something with your small budget. You can still achieve something. So you get a good cinematographer, get a good director, get a good crew member, get production manager that can work with your budget, get production manager that is not a thief, that will not put 90% of your budget in his pocket. Get a good production manager, and a production manager that will be able to put his crew member to work. It's important you are able to get a production manager that will be able to put his crew member to work, that will be able to instruct them. And don't stay back, move forward. What do I mean by move forward? Don't just stay behind and say, hey, I'm the producer, and sit like a king. No, you have to oversee things that are going on. Don't just say because you are the producer your job is just to drop money. That's if you do it like that, you will cry at the end of the day. The thing is, be involved in the production, be involved in the production, be involved. Look into be involved in the production. look into things that are going on there. Don't just sit back and say, hey, I've paid them. The director knows what to do. Yes, they know what to do, but your attention is still needed. You still need to see some things for yourself. You need to go there by yourself to see some things. So it's important that you're involved. So manage your crew well, manage your production well, manage your cast well, manage everything well, and the marketing, market it well. And if you're able to do all this, I'm sure that things will work for you. You may not have a big production like the big bosses in the industry have been doing, but to some extent, you will do something meaningful that you will be happy about. So I'm sure this video has been able to help you in one or few ways. So thank you for staying this long. I really appreciate that. And this channel will be showing a lot of movies, interesting movies, captivating stories. It's going to be a long ride. So please subscribe to this channel, come back to support us, share our videos, like and comment on our videos. We are glad to have you here. Thank you.